I'm here tonight to ask you to follow through on the commitment you made to our community to design a citywide community-oriented policing model for the Columbia City Police Department. I'd like to ask everyone who's here in support of community-oriented policing to please stand.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. So I originally signed up to speak after I was inspired by Timothy Love's comments to council on October 15th. He is the PhD student who spoke about his experience as an African-American man in Columbia. He gave a long list of experiences he had with police officers that made him feel targeted for his race. He spoke about being warned not to play the race card in a Missouri courtroom when he contested a traffic ticket. I felt sad that some members of our community feel targeted for their race, while I can remain blissfully unaware and have never faced consequences for things like my taillight being out. Shortly after that council meeting, I found a TED Talk by Dolly Chug titled, "How to Let Go of Being a Good Person and Become a Better Person." Dr. Chug is a psychologist. I have the link here if anyone wants to see it. It's a great TED Talk. Dr. Chug is a psychologist, and her research shows that being considered a good person is really important to many people's identities. And I'm definitely in this group. I'm a people pleaser, I follow the rules, and I strive to be a good person through my work at MU's Center for Health Policy and through my volunteer efforts. And I am proud to be part of a community that also strives to be good and to do the right thing. I have witnessed this city council, the elected leaders of our community, act on behalf of our most vulnerable citizens by protecting paratransit, funding youth programs, and increasing wages for our workforce. That means a lot to me, that you stand up for those people and for me. But most importantly tonight, I want to say that I have been heartened by this council's unanimous support for community-oriented policing back in February. So back to the TED Talk, Dr. Chug goes on to say that our identity as good people sometimes gets in the way of us becoming better people. So for example, when someone challenges the notion that we are good by questioning a joke we told, or say holding us accountable to resolutions we passed as city council members, that most of us react with red zone defensiveness. This defensiveness shuts down our willingness to learn from our mistakes. So instead of getting mired in feelings of defensiveness, I want to invite you tonight to do what Dr. Chug suggests, which is to let go of being a good person and become a better person. In our collective case, we need to let go of the idea of being a good community and strive to be a better community. A community that truly values diversity and approaches policy with a lens of equity and inclusion. We need to move through our defensive reactions. They leave us no room to become a better community or an individual person. We need to acknowledge that the historical legacy of racism continues in our community institutions, including the Columbia Police Department. And we have had time to learn from our collective mistakes. Let's use that learning to move forward to a better way. It is now time to take decisive action towards community-oriented policing. Replacing the community outreach unit with problem-oriented policing is moving in the wrong direction. Please move our community in a better direction.
Thank you, Ms. Lucht. Please.